Hey guys, welcome back. So I thought I would create a postmortem video about how I have set up access to the Raspberry Pi cluster that I have created in the previous video. So let's grab a coffee and see what I have come up with. So currently my Raspberry cluster is reachable with SSH on the RP cluster. So technically on my macOS, I have created entries in my Etsy host files, and this is the IP address. I have set it to be statically assigned to the P on the router, and I have another one which is used for home media and whatnot, but this is the relevant part. And I also have IDs or entries for the zeros running or piggybacking on the Pi 4. So when I say RP cluster, what it will do is to read my Etsy, .ssh config file, and what it will do is to match this entry, and it will use the Pi user and the private key part to authenticate myself. So on the Raspberry Pi cluster, what I have is I have adjusted the Etsy sshd config file. And since this service is exposed over the internet, because I want to be able to reach it, what is happening is that I wanted to make it secure. So not to allow brute force attacks with password and so on, since this video is public and I don't want anybody to get like funny ideas. So I have enabled public key authentication and I have disabled password authentication. So anytime I try to reach the Pi, I have to use my user and public key. Just to demonstrate this, my user at RPi cluster, what will happen is that I will get a permission denied. So the SSH daemon will tell the client that you have to provide a private key to try to authenticate against the machine. That's one part. And the other thing that I have set up, so I want to be able to directly access my Pi's piggybacking on the Pi 4. And for this to work, what I have to do is to make sure that the routing table tells my MacBook where to go. And in order to do that, let's SSH Pi 02. And in order to do that, there is a route command that has to be issued. And basically what I say that the network 172.168.1/24 is reachable with this IP address. So that way, any traffic that goes to that given IP address will be directed first to the master node. And yeah, so SSH RPi cluster. And what I can check is whether these machines are available. So this should be, yes, they are. So currently Pi 04, and it's a request timeout 3, 2, 1. Maybe they are not responding to LSUSB-T. Oh, sorry, LSUSB-T. And cluster hat or cluster ctl off is going to turn off the pies, and we can turn them on. And after a while, after they have successfully booted, these should be present. So with the LSUSB, after a while, these devices should pop up. And the authentication is the same against the pizeros. So basically, I have the authentication set up with public key authentication. So LSUSB and route. So route add the route with the gateway. Now this is available, and pi01 is, yeah, destination host is unreachable. So SSH rpi cluster, and there is a configuration settings which is about the forwarding of these packets, and this can be found under the sysctl.conf, and here we have the IP forward, and this should be enabled if you want to make them reachable. So that's the gateway, and pi02. It just takes them some time to, let's say, become available. So now I am on my macOS machine, and if I want, I can use the pi01 to SSH into it. And there we go. I have jumped directly from my macOS machine to the Pi0, which is on the cluster hat. What else did I want to show you? So technically that's it, but I will have another video because I may or may not want to set up either teleport or bastion to allow like web-based management of this. Oh, and one last thing. So what I did is to rpi cluster is to set up the NoIP DUC service, which is going to be reporting my public address every 5 minutes. And basically, now on, if I want, I can say that reaperpi cluster.ddns.net, and technically from the outside world, I am able to log in. And that was all. See you in the next one.